freedom. It is a beautiful gift. As Christians, we know that Jesus came to free us from the law and the oppression that comes with religious regulations. We love to call out with the Apostle Paul a slogan often quoted on these matters, "And where the Spirit of the Lord is present, there is liberty." And as Americans, we unapologetically make a spectacle of our freedom. I have come to believe, however, that our Western understanding of freedom is not at all what Jesus came to bring us. We have allowed our love of freedom to become an excuse to live a life marked by self-absorbed consumerism. I find it interesting that we use the term consumption not only for the act of eating, but also for the goods we buy and use. Definition of consume, transitive verb. 1. To do away with completely, destroy. Fire consumed several buildings. 2a. To spend wastefully, squander. b. Use up. Writing consumed much of his time. 3a. To eat or drink especially in great quantity, consumed several bags of pretzels. b. To enjoy avidly, devour, mysteries which he consumes for fun. E.R. Lipson. 4. To engage fully, engross, consumed with curiosity. 5. To utilize as a customer, consume goods and services. Intransitive verb. 1. To waste or burn away, perish. 2. To utilize economic goods. As we obsess over the newest technology and the latest fashions, we find the majority of our income is spent on what we love most, ourselves, while the world is hurting. 1 billion people lack access to clean water, and 2.6 billion people lack basic sanitation. According to UNICEF, 22,000 children die each day due to extreme poverty. Out of 2.2 billion children in the world, 1 billion live in poverty. The wealthiest nation on earth has the widest gap between rich and poor of any industrialized nation. As Christians who are called to love the least of these, we need to realize that poverty is not just a problem, it is our problem. When we contemplate what is happening globally, we might likely agree that a large percentage of our income should be diverted immediately to care for those in greatest need. We could easily determine that 50% or more of our annual income should be given away. After all, if 80% of the world lives on less than $10 a day, surely we could survive on some multiple of that number. But the challenge comes when we try to transition from sharing a very small percentage of our income to radical generosity. We face bills, rent, student loans, luxurious habits, long commutes, and scores of other problems that overwhelm us and often translate to a shutdown, and we change nothing about our lifestyles at all. We need to follow the example set for us by the people of God in Acts, who shared all that they had, a striking portrait of the church getting on her feet and discovering her unique identity. One of the church's shining features was her focus on sharing with anyone who had a need. It was as if Jesus had told them, "I will provide everything that you need. The only obstacle is that some of you will have too much, and others will not have enough. I'm counting on you to sort it out." This model did not start with Jesus. It goes all the way back to the Israelites and their life in the wilderness. Paul in his letters echoes the model offered to the children of Israel as an ethic for us all to live by. The kingdom is a place where everyone has enough. In Exodus, God's plan for gathering manna is laid out. When they used a 2-quart jar to measure it, the one who had gathered a lot didn't have more than he needed, and the one who gathered less had just what he needed. Miraculously, each person and each family, regardless of how much they gathered, had exactly what they needed. Paul explains to us that this lesson was not just for God's children in the wilderness. The objective is not to go under financially speaking so others will have some relief. The objective is to use this opportunity today to supply their needs out of your abundance. One day it may be the other way around, and they will need to supply your needs from what they have. That's equality. As it is written, the one who gathered plenty didn't have more than he needed. The one who gathered little didn't have less. Our problem seems clear. We have not been sharing our manna equally. The Scriptures prescribe a remedy to our consumerism and selfishness: fasting. Listen to God. Speak to the prophet Isaiah. Eternal One, no, what I want in a fast is this: to liberate those tied down and held back by injustice, to lighten the load of those heavily burdened, to free the oppressed and shatter every type of oppression. A fast, for me, involves sharing your food with people who have none, giving those who are homeless a space in your home, giving clothes to those who need them, and not neglecting your own family. Then, oh then, your light will break out like the warm golden rays of a rising sun. In an instant you will be healed. Your righteousness will precede and protect you. The glory of the Eternal will follow and defend you. Then when you do call out, "My God, where are you?" the Eternal One will answer, "I am here, I am here." If you remove the yoke of oppression from the downtrodden among you, stop accusing others, and do away with mean and inflammatory speech, if you make sure that the hungry and oppressed have all that they need, then your light will shine in the darkness, and even your bleakest moments will be bright as a clear day. The Shepherd of Hermas, a collection of Christian teachings from AD 150, suggests, "Having fulfilled what is written, in the day in which you fast you will taste nothing but bread and water, and having reckoned up the price of the dishes of that day, which you intended to have eaten, you will give it to a widow, or an orphan, or to some person in want, and thus you will exhibit humility of mind, so that he who has received benefit from your humility may fill his own soul, and pray for you to the Lord." Augustine said our fasting should always nourish the poor. "Break your bread for those who are hungry," said Isaiah. "Do not believe that fasting suffices. Fasting chastises you, but it does not refresh the other. Your privations shall bear fruit if you give generously to another." In other words, if you pass on dinner, don't simply leave your plate in the cupboard. Give your portion to someone who has none. In the developing world, 28% of children are underweight or have stunted growth. In the industrialized world, our problem is exactly the opposite. Obesity in children rises year by year. In 1980, fewer than 1 out of 10 people were obese. This number has exploded. Most recent surveys indicate 1 out of every 2 people is either overweight or obese. It is not hard to do the math and know that what the world needs right now is for Christians in the industrialized world to take less and share more, as the passage from Isaiah demands. What can you and I do about it? I say we should take 40 days and participate in this kingdom experiment of taking only what we need and sharing the rest.